Hello everyone and welcome back to Final Fantasy IV, and we're going to do another optional area. It has a couple of important things that we want. Well, that I want anyway. You don't have to go here if you don't want to. But I think you'll be missing out if you skip out. Okay, back to the floats. Because 50 hit points per tile does add up. Hey, charm arrows. Don't think I'll be using those that much. Hey, Malboros. Like many things that hate the player in Final Fantasy, these first showed up in Final Fantasy II. Their signature attack, Bad Breath, inflicts every status ailment to get around the fact that characters can only have one status ailment at a time normally, because you can't stack status ailments in Final Fantasy IV. Not without engaging in shenanigans like this. There is a way around it, but we're going to be seeing that later. For now, though, the Great Flood will sweep all of this massive sin away. Originally, normal Malboros in Final Fantasy II only inflicted poison, but the greater Malboros that you fought near the end of the game were the ones that inflicted every status ailment on hit. These ghosts are just powered-up versions of the soul enemies we encountered much earlier in the game. And I think we'll be dealing with them the same way we deal with most of the other things in this cave. Getting Rosa killed. That's the best way to do everything. We're going to be destroying most of the encounters in this cave with Leviathan because they consist of either Malboros or other things that I don't have the patience to fight. And thanks to the fact that Rydia is using the Charm Rod instead of whips, Leviathan will be doing somewhat boosted damage. In this version of the game, Leviathan does 4,000 to 5,000 non-elemental damage. It's only in the 3D remake that Leviathan actually does water damage. All of the wave attacks are non-element. I don't think water damage was really a thing until Final Fantasy VI. But someone can correct me on it. Okay, trees, they count as mages, you know what to do. The dark trees can either physically attack, or they can cast Berserk on themselves, and then physically attack, and strike you down with a furious anger. Leviathan really is the cure-all for almost any encounter you have at this point in the game. Also, if you're not confident in your abilities to go into the sealed cave, you can always grind here instead. Note, by the way, that this cave uses the same music as the Land of Summoned Monsters. Okay, blew up some more of Malboros. Nothing too special there. Malboros are one of those creatures in Final Fantasy that gets meaner and meaner with every iteration. Ah, Elven Bow. It's weaker than the Yoichi Bow. I guess it's there in case you didn't find the stronger bow in the Land of Summoned Monsters. How did it get recluttered so quickly? You know, that's the thing in games with limited inventories. If there's a way to fill it up, I'm gonna do it. It's not like I have a dog that I can use to to go back to town and sell all that junk. Okay, Toad Lady and Tiny Toad. Toad Lady is like the officer in the soldier encounters, except that when she asks her toads to do something, they all cast Toad. By the way, the Toad Lady and Tiny Toads all count as mages. Therefore, they are all going to be hit by Leviathan. If you destroy all the toads, the Toad Lady will cast Toad on herself and turn herself into a toad, making the fight easy pickings. Hey, free cabin! Yeah, money isn't usually a problem in Final Fantasy IV. I just did the money cheat so that I wouldn't have to do any of the money grinding, even though money grinding in this game doesn't actually take that long, because you're gonna be fighting lots of stuff anyway. And it's also so that I wouldn't have to grind for money like I did during my playthrough of Dragon Slayer: The Legend of Heroes. Monster in the box. Just one of these encounters. But what we do get is the Mage Masher. I don't remember exactly when the Mage Masher first showed up. It feels like something that might have been in Final Fantasy I. But it's actually still relatively strong. Replacing my longsword with it didn't actually deplete my attack power too much. And there's an elixir. And nothing in there. Oh. Yeah, Edge can use claws, but it's generally better for him to use swords. Wait a minute. Yang? Huh. You know, between Cid, Radia, Edward, and now Yang, I'm beginning to wonder if some people might begin to wonder, hey, does anyone who dies in this game actually die? Well, any party member, anyway. So we're not actually done with the Sylph Cave, because there are some treasures down here that I consider absolutely crucial to my playthroughs of this game. And so we're gonna get all of them. Oh, I forgot who did what magic. That happens sometimes. We learned Drain, a spell that we never use. And one thing I miss about Dragon Slayer: The Legend of Heroes is the ability to keep your spellbook concise. Oh god, it's filling up like nothing else. Don't worry, I'll declutter my inventory again before the next video. Yeah, stepping on the damage tiles isn't what causes the damage down here, it's stepping off of them. Cure 2, heal, a Charm Rod. Basically, this is the first place you get the magic boosting Charm Rod if you didn't go get the one in my city, not my city, in the Town of Mist. Oh, never mind. Ambushed by Malboros, the worst possible scenario. Well, in this dungeon anyway. The good thing is that remedies are easy to come by. Why did I think Edge had healing magic? Oh yes, Edge has learned Smoke by now, which I'm not going to be using for a while, but when I need it, it will be extremely useful. Because it allows you to run away from encounters you can't, some encounters that you can't otherwise run away from. Now we're getting somewhere. Oh yeah, souls can cast Fire 2 and Sleep. Which is theoretically devastating because Sleep is only negated by physical attacks. So theoretically, they could sleep your whole party and then firebomb you until dead. Yeah, this is the kind of encounter I'll throw Leviathan at. And I'm going to want all the levels I can get before the sealed cave. Whoops. Well, didn't say this was gonna go perfectly. Okay, so all of the 6 chests in this room have monsters in boxes. And as a bit of an assurance, I'm equipping the Ruby Ring. The reason is, if you're immune to one status ailment that bad breath causes, you're immune to all of the status ailments it causes. And since the Ruby Ring prevents Piggy, it will prevent the bad breath from affecting Rydia. Told you trees count as wizards. Okay, the treasure for this chest is the Moonring Blade. Much easier to get in this game than in Final Fantasy III. You had to fight a boss for it in an optional boss for it in Eureka the Forbidden Land. I consider it crucial because there is an endgame boss that's actually weak against ranged attacks. This has just 6 ghosts. It might take a while, but it's not too bad. Ghosts absorb elemental damage, but Edge's Flood does non-elemental also. No wait, I might be completely wrong, I'll have to check. Well, whatever it isn't absorbed by ghosts. Oh right, I'm not having Rydia actually cast spells because there are some nastier chests down here. Okay, all of the chests guarded by 6 ghosts have an elixir. Dump the poison arrows. Oh man. I don't need those either. I have plenty of ways to use ice. Petrify never works. Second verse, same as the first. Thank you. Yeah, well, monsters in boxes weren't officially introduced until Final Fantasy II. There were some chests in Final Fantasy I that had mandatory encounter tiles in front of them, so were effectively the same in spirit, if not in actual programming practice. Haha, you're a frog, you can't cast spells. And there's the Avenger. It's a two-handed sword that berserks its wielder, and I won't be using it quite yet, but it is going to be absolutely crucial to my final boss strategy. In a way that you might not expect. Okay, Rydia is down on MP, so I'm actually going to be using one of the ethers I've been stocking up. This is the part of the game where I actually start using those sorts of things. Oh hey, centipedes! I don't remember what these do, actually. And the reason I don't remember is because they're total wimps. And I'll be taking those. And just to top it off, here's another flood. Okay, so that's it for this time, so next time we will actually be making story progress in the Sealed Cave. Bye!